The Shattered Trust. The rain poured relentlessly over the neon-lit streets of New Haven, a city where shadows danced and secrets thrived. In a dimly lit bar called The Rusty Nail, the air was thick with tension and the scent of stale beer. At the far corner table sat Marcus Cole, a seasoned detective known for his sharp instincts and unyielding resolve. He was waiting for an informant, a man who claimed to have vital information that could crack a high-profile case involving a notorious crime syndicate. As Marcus sipped his whiskey, he replayed the details of the case in his mind. The syndicate, led by a ruthless figure known only as the Phantom, had been wreaking havoc across the city, and Marcus was determined to bring them down. The informant, a low-level thug named Benny, had reached out claiming to have insider knowledge. Marcus had been cautious, but desperation had led him to entertain the meeting. Minutes ticked by like hours until Benny finally arrived, his eyes darting nervously. He slid into the booth across from Marcus, his hands shaking. "Listen, I need to make this quick," he whispered, glancing around as if expecting someone to pounce. "I know where the Phantom's next shipment is going down, but you need to understand it's dangerous." Marcus leaned in, his interest piqued. "Tell me everything." Benny's voice trembled as he divulged the details of the operation. "They're moving a shipment of weapons tonight at the old warehouse by the docks. But you gotta promise me, Marcus, you won't tell anyone I told you." "Why would you want to protect them?" Marcus asked, skepticism creeping into his mind. Benny hesitated, his gaze dropping to the table. "I owe them money. They'll kill me if they find out I talked." Marcus's instincts flared. He could sense the fear radiating from Benny, but something felt off. "If this is true, we can nail them tonight," he replied, trying to sound reassuring. "But you need to trust me." As Benny nodded, Marcus caught a glimpse of a figure lurking outside the bar's entrance, a tall man in a dark coat, face obscured by the shadow of a wide-brimmed hat. The sight sent a chill down his spine. He knew that look. It was the kind of presence that demanded respect and instilled fear. Suddenly, he realized the danger was more imminent than he had anticipated. "Benny," Marcus said, urgency creeping into his voice. "We need to get out of here." But before they could move, the door swung open, and the tall figure stepped inside, flanked by two muscle-bound enforcers. The air thickened with tension as Marcus recognized the man, Trey, one of the Phantom's right-hand men. He met Marcus's gaze with a cold, knowing smile. "You should have stayed away from this, detective," Trey said, his voice dripping with menace. In an instant, chaos erupted. Marcus lunged for Benny, but the informant was already on his feet, scrambling toward the exit. Trey's men charged forward, and Marcus quickly assessed his options. He had to protect Benny, but the odds were stacked against him. Marcus ducked and weaved through the bar, dodging punches and swinging fists. He could feel adrenaline coursing through his veins as he fought off the attackers. With every move, he kept his eyes on Benny, who was inching closer to the door. "Get back here," Trey shouted, but Marcus had other plans. He pushed through the throng of bodies, determined to reach Benny before it was too late. Just as Benny reached the door, he turned back to Marcus, a desperate look in his eyes. "I didn't mean for any of this to happen," he screamed, panic evident in his voice. And then, in a shocking twist, Benny pulled out a gun, aiming it at Marcus. "I'm sorry, but I can't go back. They'll kill me." Marcus's heart sank as he realized he had been double-crossed. The informant had set him up, and now he was caught in a deadly game. "Benny, don't do this!" Marcus pleaded, raising his hands in surrender. But Benny was no longer the scared man Marcus had met moments ago. He was a cornered animal, driven by fear and survival instincts. "You're not going to take me in, Marcus," he shouted, his finger trembling on the trigger. Before Marcus could react, the bar's door burst open again, and a group of uniformed officers stormed in, alerted by the commotion. "Police, drop your weapons!" one of them shouted. In that instant of confusion, Benny hesitated, and Marcus seized the opportunity. He lunged forward, knocking the gun out of Benny's hands just as the officers tackled Trey and his enforcers to the ground. The bar erupted into chaos as the officers apprehended the criminals, and Marcus stood, breathing heavily, heart racing. Benny was taken into custody, his betrayal hanging heavy in the air. As the officers secured the scene, Marcus felt a pang of disappointment. He had trusted Benny, and that trust had been shattered. The adrenaline faded. leaving behind the bitter taste of betrayal. Double-crossed, enjoy your day.